6 signs you are dealing with narcissistic abuse and how to deal with it. A narcissist is a person with a narcissistic personality disorder, which is characterized by an inflated sense of their own importance, an extreme need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. 1. You are constantly told that you are not good enough. 2. You are made to feel as if you are not as intelligent or successful as they are. 3. They blame you for things that they do wrong and make it seem like it's your fault because it's easier to believe than the truth, i.e., I would have done this right if you were more supportive. 4. They act like your success is their success and your failure is their failure, so they will often try to sabotage your work or relationships in order to maintain superiority over you. You don't really care about me because you never stick to our plans. 5. They tend to make constant grandiose promises about the future, then fail to follow through on them, i.e., I'm going to have the greatest career ever and I'm going to be so popular one day. 6. They are incredibly jealous of anyone who has anything they don't, and quickly gets angry if someone gets anything that they covet, even if the person has worked for it. What is narcissistic abuse? Narcissistic abuse is a term that is used to describe a pattern of behavior by someone who has a narcissistic personality disorder. The person may be an ex-partner, parent, friend, colleague, or current partner. The narcissist's behavior can include putting down the other person's opinions and achievements, treating the other person like they are not intelligent or important enough to have an opinion or voice their own thoughts, joking about a topic that is upsetting, often making light of it. How to recognize the signs of narcissistic abuse. Narcissistic abuse is a type of abuse that is difficult to recognize because it's different from physical or emotional abuse. It can be hard to identify the signs of narcissistic abuse because it's not always obvious. Narcissistic abusers are good at making their victims believe they are the only ones who can make them happy and that they are so special in the abuser's life. They will also make their victims feel like they can't live without them, which is a form of emotional manipulation. Narcissistic abusers will often use gaslighting tactics to confuse their victims and make them question what is actually happening in their relationships with people outside the relationship with the abuser. Gaslighting is used to create doubt in a victim's mind about what they know to be. Different types of narcissistic abuse. Narcissistic abuse is any kind of abuse that happens when one person uses their power over someone else to get what they want. The 3 most common types of narcissistic abuse are emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and mental abuse. How to deal with a partner or friend who is abusive towards you. You will learn how to spot the signs of an abusive relationship and what to do if you are in one. Verbal abuse is any sort of verbal aggression that can be used by someone who wants to control another person. This includes using words in a way that is hurtful, insulting, controlling, and/or threatening. Emotional abuse is a less understood form of abuse. It can also be more difficult to detect than other forms of abuse. Emotional abuse is not just verbal and can include things like constant criticism, humiliation, intimidation, and threats. Mental abuse is a form of emotional abuse and occurs when one person intentionally makes another feel bad about themselves. In relationships, mental abuse can include the use of verbal threats, insults, intimidation, humiliation, or constant criticism. There is a list of things that can happen when someone becomes a victim of abuse. One may experience isolation from friends and family. Your abuser caused you to suffer from low self-esteem and recurrent depression. A form of abuse, incrimination aims to damage their partner physically and emotionally. Sometimes, this is as simple as yelling at them or withholding food from them until they snap.